History, there are unsettling photos that seem strange or creepy at first glance. But when you learn the stories behind these pictures, they become even more disturbing. Below are some eerie photos with explanation of the chilling stories behind them. Number 1. The Feral Child Genie. Jeannie Wiley, also known as the Feral Child, is the young girl in this 1970 photograph. At the age of 13, she is barely able to walk and is from California. Her father had brutally mistreated her entire life, locking her in a room with a children's toilet and tying her to it all day. He would growl and show his teeth at her like a dog whenever she made a noise or did something he didn't like. Wiley was raised in such inhumane circumstances that she never learned to walk or speak. Her life inside a string of abusive institutions had just begun when this unsettling photograph of her was snapped at a hospital shortly after she had been saved. Her current whereabouts are unknown. Number 2. Pile of thousands of bison skulls. This disturbing photograph of a huge pile of bison skulls shows the mass slaughter of bison. This grim image was captured in 1892, outside the premises of Michigan Carbon Works in Rougeville, Michigan. Between 30 and 60 million bison were thought to have lived on the North American continent at the end of the 18th century. However, there were only 456 wild bison left at the time this picture was taken, a dramatic decline in the bison population. Number 3. Tarring and feathering. Tarring and feathering was a horrifying practice that started in feudal Europe and continued in early America. It was a brutal way to deliver unofficial justice or revenge. The victim would often be stripped down or partially, then immobilized, and hot wood tar would be applied to their body. Feathers were thrown onto the tar, making them stick and intensifying the humiliation. In 1918, during World War I, a German-American farmer named John Mintz in Luverne, Minnesota, suffered this inhumane punishment for allegedly not supporting war bond drives. Number 4. Derailment of Mpas. In 1895, a big accident happened at a train station in Paris called Montparnasse. It was 4 p.m. on October 22nd when the train that was supposed to stop didn't stop in time. The train didn't stop because the driver didn't brake on time. To make up for the lost time, the driver thought of driving faster and braking later than recommended. Judging by the photo, we all know how it ended up. The train crashed through the end of the train tracks, went through the station, and even broke a big wall. The front part of the train ended up standing on its front like a nose, down on a street called. Number 5. Ape of Deo. In 1920, a Swiss geologist named François Delois reportedly encountered a pair of aggressive humanoid apes while exploring the jungles of Venezuela. Delois claimed that he had killed one of these creatures, positioned it on a box, and captured the peculiar photograph displayed above. This particular animal gained attention because, if authentic, it would be the sole known ape species indigenous to the Western Hemisphere. However, most experts now believe that the creature in question was, in fact, a spider monkey. But what others thought was of no concern to Delois. This is why he still presented the photo as a groundbreaking discovery. Several years later, Dr. Enrique Tejera wrote a letter to a Venezuelan scientific magazine in which he disclosed that he had collaborated with Delois in Venezuela. He asserted that the animal featured in the photograph was actually Delois' deceased pet spider monkey. He asserted that the animal featured in the photograph was actually Delois' deceased pet spider monkey. What confused many was the size of the monkey. But later, people with a keen eye found out that it was the perspective of the photo, which made the monkey look this big. Today, Delois' ape is widely regarded as a well-publicized hoax by the contemporary scientific community.